Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for day 2 of our Mind, Body, and Spirit Wellness Weekend. We're so grateful to have Crystal here with us today to do our morning yoga session. We have many Two Live to Cure board members here and some other attendees, and we'll be recording this event for everyone so that you can enjoy it at a later date as well. So we're really excited about it. I just want to do a quick lineup for today for all of you that are joining us. We have yoga session, we're doing a cannabis and cancer panel, some Ayurvedic discussions today, so a lot on natural healing. So we're really excited to have a wide variety of people that are gonna bring us some skincare tips and self-breast exam tips since it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Some more music and art classes, so buckle up. It's gonna be a really fun day and we're excited to get started right now. I'm going to introduce Crystal. She's here joining us from White Salmon, Washington, and we're excited for her to be doing our morning yoga session. Crystal, I'm going to turn this over to you. You can introduce yourself and what you're doing and why you decided to join us today would be great too.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. So again, my name is Crystal and I own the yoga studio in White Salmon and Yoga Samadhi, if you haven't heard of it before. I got invited to this from Joe Madsen, and Joe is a teacher at the studio. And she, I believe, is teaching the cannabis and maybe Ayurveda too. So I'm really grateful to be here and just to share what I do every day with all of you. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's about all I have.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to get started. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll try to get to those as well. If you don't want to be recorded, please turn off your video and your microphone because we will be recording the session. And we hope you enjoy.
Yay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll come onto our mats, and I think we're going to start on our backs today, starting nice and gentle. And I just want to make sure you can hear me just fine still, right? Maybe a thumbs up. Okay, good. So if you are using a yoga mat, we'll go ahead and lie down. And if you need to bring any props in to make yourself more comfortable, you're welcome to. So sometimes I like to bring a pillow or a bolster underneath my knees for a little support. If it's not comfortable to lay flat on your back, then you can also bend your knees, plant your feet on your mat, and let your arms just fall along your sides and let your eyes close if that feels comfortable for you. And we'll just start with a few grounding breaths. And so in your grounding breaths, you can really focus on your exhale this morning. So as you bring in your inhale, we create space throughout our belly, our lungs, and then on that exhale, just let everything relax deeply, releasing your whole body from head to toe. And just taking a couple of breaths just like that on your own. And then remembering today that this is your practice. So if we're doing something that doesn't feel great for your body, then you're always welcome to modify. Even if I don't give those suggestions, just modify for your own body. Even if all you do is lay here and breathe for the next hour, that's okay as well. And then let's just take a moment and scan our bodies from head to toe and just notice what you notice. Where in your body are you feeling any tension or tightness or resistance, or maybe even any pain this morning? And without any judgment, we just notice and find the place in your body that stands out to you the most. Maybe it's physical in your hips. Maybe it's more energetic in your heart. But find that place, and then we're just going to focus our attention there and continue to breathe deeply. Allowing your breath again to travel through your body into that place, creating space on your inhale, and on your exhale, letting it all relax, letting it all go as best as you can. And just taking a few more breaths there. And one more big breath, filling up your whole body completely with that prana, that life force. Pausing for just a count or two, and then take the slowest possible exhale you can take, just letting it all go. Okay. And then to start just with a gentle movement, let's bring our right leg in. So right knee comes into your chest. You can lengthen your left leg along your mat if that feels okay for you. If not, then keep your knee bent. And just take a couple of deep breaths, drawing that right knee in towards your torso, your belly. And our whole focus today with our breath is just to relax and to release any tension that we're holding on to. We hold so much in our physical bodies, so we're just taking this hour to help release. All right. Keeping a hold of your right knee, let your right knee just move out to the right. So we're kind of opening that hip. All right. And then go ahead and bring your right knee across your body. And we're just going to gently flow from side to side. All right. Just getting a little opening in our right hip. Maybe even a gentle twist. And as you move, I want you to keep focusing on your breath. So big inhales, big exhales. And as you bring your right knee out to the right again, let's take some circles here. So a little movement in that hip socket. And then go ahead and extend your leg up. Your right foot just gonna stack over your hip. Grab behind your thigh, so down around your hamstring, just to help support. And then we're gonna point and flex our feet, our toes. And just notice what you notice. So we're breathing deeply today. And we just pay attention. For me, I feel my right calf really tight. And take some circles. Maybe just moving in one direction to start. And then switch directions. Keep breathing nice and slow. Good. And then let your leg come into stillness. Lower your arms down. And then on your exhale, we're going to lower that right leg to a hover. So how low you go depends on your body. Maybe you go all the way to a hover to the floor, or maybe you stay up taller. And then on your inhale, we'll lift it back up. Exhale, lower back down. Good. So we want to keep our hip bones grounded on our mat. So that might mean we don't go down quite as far. And just take a couple more on your own. Remember that left knee could always be bent for support if you need to. Let's take just one more. As you exhale and lower, we'll lower it all the way down to our mat. Let's lay flat for a moment and just kind of wobble your legs a little. Notice the difference from your right leg to your left after that movement. And then whenever you're ready, your left knee draws into your chest. Remember, you can lengthen the right leg or bend your right knee. And then we'll open the left knee and the left hip out to the left, and then gently come across your body. And just take a little movement from side to side. And the next time that your knee is out to the left, we'll take a couple of circles. Again, getting into your left hip socket. And just what does that feel like for you? For some of us, we might be really tight in our hips. Some of us, we might feel open. This might feel really good. Good. And then go ahead and lengthen your left leg all the way up. Grab behind your thigh again. Point and flex your toes, your feet. And take some circles. And opposite direction. And then go ahead and pause. Let your arms lengthen down your sides. Again, right knee can be bent or straightened. And then exhale, we're going to lower the left foot down to a hover. Again, choose where you want to land, and then inhale, back up, nice and slow. Good, let's take one more. Slowly lower that leg all the way down to your mat. Let your legs lengthen long and just give them a little wobble, a little movement from side to side. Good. And then go ahead and draw both knees into your chest. Let's hug them nice and tight. And let's just take 3 big grounding breaths here. So inhaling through your nose. Fill up your whole body, your belly, your lungs, down into your hips. And on your exhale, just release all that doesn't serve you today. Letting this moment be all you need. One more. Good. And if it's available to you, go ahead and gently rock from side to side. So we're just massaging our spine. Great. And back to center. Go ahead and plant your feet on your mat. We're going to come into a bridge, and I like to do just a little restorative bridge. So if you have a prop that I mentioned earlier, a bolster, a pillow, a block, just anything that you can slide underneath your low back and your sits bones area. I'm going to give a couple of options for our bridge today, but this is a little more of a gentle bridge. So arms come out to the sides, maybe palms face up today. And you can even bring your thumb and index fingers together if that feels right for you. And this is just in yoga, the gesture of consciousness. And your feet can stay grounded on your mat, Or you can lengthen your legs and just let your whole body lengthen here. You should start to feel an opening through your chest, your abdomen, your hips, and if your legs are lengthening, even down into your thighs. And find that slow breath that we started with. Really focusing on the exhale, just helping to release anything that doesn't serve us that we're holding on to in our bodies. And we'll take maybe 5 or 6 breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and finish this last breath that we're on. And if your knees are straight, go ahead and bend them. Lift your hips, slide your prop out to the left or whichever side is fine, and slowly lower back down. All right, let's bring one hand to our belly and one hand to our heart. And just take a moment before we come off of our backs to just really connect here. Find that slow breath. And just a moment to acknowledge yourself for being here today and all of the blessings that come with this moment. If you like, you could even set an intention for your practice today. Whatever it is that you want more of, more peace, more ease, more love, more connection. Taking one more breath here, breathing that all into every cell in your body. And exhaling out everything that doesn't serve you. Releasing your hands when you're ready, we'll gently turn onto one side. We're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So taking your time to get there, hands come underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. If anyone has a hard time maybe with your knees, you're welcome to grab a blanket and bring padding underneath. And we'll just start with a neutral spine. So navel draws in, lengthen all the way out through your crown, and we'll move through a little cat-cow today. So on your inhale, your belly starts to sink as your head and your heart lift. Your spine arches slightly. Good. Exhale, big round of your spine, sending the back of your heart to the sky. So in cat-cow, I like to think about moving from our heart. So on your inhale, our heart lowers, good, and then lifts front of our heart. Exhale, back of our heart towards the sky. That way we're staying in our upper spine and just continue to flow on your own, nice and slow. Head lifts on your inhale and your exhale. Head is heavy. Top of your head towards the mat, back of your neck long. Good. Taking a couple more on your own. And again, this is your practice today, so I invite you to honor your body and where you are, what feels right, what you need to modify. If I don't give an option that you feel like you would like in your body, please do so. Last one. All right, coming back to that neutral spine, we'll get into our side bodies. So shift your left shoulder towards your left hip. Take a big exhale here. And inhale, we'll come back to center. And then exhale, right shoulder to right hip. And inhale, back to center. And we're just going to flow slowly from side to side. So if flowing doesn't feel right for you, you're always welcome to just hold and breathe on one side. As long as we're conscious of our breath today, staying present with our intention, with our bodies, with our practice. And let's go ahead and take one more to each side. And slowly come back to center. Great. Find your neutral spine again. On your inhale, let's reach your right arm to the sky. On your exhale, thread it underneath your left. So we're coming down onto our right shoulder. So a couple options here. Hips can stay lifted, or you can sit back on your heels into a child's pose as you open that right shoulder. Your left fingertips can be wherever comfortable. So maybe close to your arm, maybe you lengthen your arm all the way out. Turning onto your right side of your head might feel best, but I'll leave that up to you. And if anybody needs to modify at all, again, you're welcome to. Maybe you don't come all the way down. Maybe you bring a pillow under your head. And wherever you are, we'll just keep breathing, nice and slow. Good. On your next inhale, gently come back. Find your neutral spine again. If you need to bring a little movement into that right arm first, you can, and then gently place your right hand down. Switching sides, inhaling left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath your right, coming down onto your left shoulder. So again, choose an option that works for you. Hips stay lifted, maybe hips draw back. Maybe your right arm extends, left side of your head to your mat. Or you can use any props that might make you more comfortable. Maybe you need a blanket under your knees now. And wherever you are, we just keep breathing. So if you feel like you have a busy mind this morning and there's so much going on in your life and it's hard to get out of the past, the future, our breath is always that key to keep coming back to, that focal point. So without any judgment of where your mind is today, we just simply return back to our breath as often as we remember to. Good. Last breath here on this side. And then on your next inhale, we'll slowly find your way back into that tabletop position. If you like to bring movement into that left arm, maybe shake it out a little, you can. And then place your left hand down when you're ready. Okay. So I'm going to take us through a couple of vinyasas here, and I'm going to give some options for our body. So first option, we can sit back on our heels, reach your arms out in front of you. Let your head hang. So this is child's pose. And on your inhale, we're going to just slowly lift and slide forward. Shoulders come over your wrists. And exhale as we lower all the way down to our bellies. We just start to slide. Continue to slide your chest forward. Elbows draw in, head and heart lift. So this is a small cobra. And then on your exhale, we'll go back to child's pose. So do that just 2 more times with you. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you lower all the way onto your belly. Inhale, head and heart lift. Good. Exhale, child's pose. One more time. All right. Meeting back in child's pose. I know that for most of us, this is probably a nice relaxing pose, but for not all bodies. So again, maybe you take a wider knee pose, or you just modify your body in any way that you need to. Permission to even just stay up on your knees, hips lifted. So this next vinyasa we're going to go to, we're coming into downward dog. So when you're ready, we'll go ahead and tuck our toes, lift our hips, and come into downward dog. So if this isn't available to you, then you can stay in child's pose. So grounding your hands into your mat, almost like suction cups. Let your heart surrender towards your thighs as your hips lift, and send your heels towards your mat. So your body's kind of in this triangle with the floor. And on your next inhale, we'll come forward into a plank. Option to lower your knees, which I actually recommend. And then on your exhale, we'll slowly lower all the way down to our bellies. And same thing, inhale, small cobra, head and heart lift, elbows draw in. Exhale, slowly lower your head, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. Good, so we'll do that 2 more times. You're always welcome to start from child's pose instead. Inhaling forward into a plank. Exhale, slowly lowering to your belly. Inhale, lift into cobra. Good. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. 1 more time. Good. All the way back into that downward dog. From downward dog, let's inhale our right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot all the way to meet your right thumb. So you might have to help your foot up. So as gracefully as we can, bring your right foot to meet your right thumb. Back knee is lower down onto your mat. So I'm going to take a blanket and bring it underneath my knee just for a little extra support. So you can do that now if you've got one. And then we're just going to get into our hip flexors here a little bit. So right knee stacks over your ankle. And then hands can stay low. If you do have blocks or something at home that will work as a block, you can grab that now underneath your hands if you like that little extra support and height. We're just going to hold here for a couple of breaths. And for those of you who feel like you want to go a little deeper, it's in your practice and available to you, we can lift our arms all the way up. As you lift your arms, let your shoulder blades settle back into your spine. Last breath here. Good. And exhale, lower your hands all the way down. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. Give that hip flexor a little bit of a break, and then walk your hands back. So again, if you've got blocks, great. If not, then you can just place them on your mat or use something that works for blocks. And then on your inhale, let's find a little extra length out through our crown, and on your exhale, go ahead and fold into that right leg. And then just some nice slow deep breaths. Maybe you close your eyes here and just bring your awareness not only to your breath, but to your body physically, the stretch. The rising and the falling of your inhale and your exhale. Last breath here. Good. And then go ahead and bend your right knee. Let's plant our hands. Go back to that same plank or kneeling plank and slowly lower all the way to your bellies. Inhale, small cobra again. So hands on your shoulders, elbows in, lift your head and your heart. And we'll stay here for a couple of extra breaths for this back bend. So if you want to come up a little bit higher for full cobra, you can just start to straighten your arms, lift a little higher, but only if that feels safe on your back. Shoulders drop away from your ears. Good. Next exhale, slowly lower. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your downward dog. So again, if you prefer child's pose or hands and knees, you're always welcome to. From downward dog though, we'll inhale our left leg to the sky this time. Bring your left foot to meet your left thumb. So again, as gracefully as you can make it there. If you need to take a little time, that's okay. And then lower your right knee down onto a blanket or your mat. Left knee stacks right over that ankle. And then if you want to use props underneath your hands for a little extra support, you can here. And we'll start low and just take a couple of breaths. Breathing into that right hip flexor this time. Good. And for those of you who want to lift your hands, we'll inhale, arms reach to the sky. All right, shoulders drop down, but keep reaching. On your next exhale, we'll lower our arms down. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. Walk your hands back. Find length out through your crown, and then we're gonna fold in. Big exhale as you fold. Head can be heavy here. Eyes can close or just soften. And notice if you're able to send your breath to your hamstring or wherever you are feeling the stretch. Last breath here. Go ahead and slowly bend your knee, hands plant. Go back to plank or kneeling plank and slowly lower all the way to your bellies. So one more back bend. We'll inhale, lift, small cobra, or lift up a little higher. Let's take an extra breath here. Good. On your next exhale, we'll lower our chest back down, tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward dog. So let's go ahead and pause in our downward dog for a moment. Again, seal your palms, your fingertips, make suction cups nice and grounded. Heart surrenders towards your thighs, hips lift. And then let's just pedal our heels here a little bit. So really wake up our calf muscles. Good. And then pause in your downward dog. And we're going to gently bend our knees, look through our hands, and either walk or light hop to the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold. On your inhale, let's come up halfway so our spine lengthens as we begin to lift. Hands can come to your shins or maybe just hang. A nice flat back, and exhale, fold in. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen all the way out through your crown. Exhale, fold. 1 more time. Good. Let your head be heavy here. Take a couple of breaths to the back of your legs. Maybe your eyes closed or just soften your gaze. Arms wherever comfortable. And if you like to just gently sway from your right foot to your left, you can. And I always also like to recommend, if this doesn't feel right for your body, maybe you use a block or some sort of prop so that you're not folding quite as low, especially if you're taking care of low back pain or injuries. But for a lot of us, it should feel really relaxing. Okay. And then on your next inhale, we're just gonna slowly rise one vertebrae at a time. So let your spine around and just begin to peel up one vertebrae at a time. And as you come to stand, let your arms sweep all the way out and up, heart lifts. Exhale, bring your palms together, slowly lower to your heart center. And then find your mountain pose. So arms lower down along your sides, feet ground into your mat, standing nice and tall, noticing what you notice. All right, so we'll do half salutations. Inhaling, arms sweep all the way out and up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, spine long as you begin to come back into your forward fold. Head heavy, softness in your knees. Good. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen out through your crown. Exhale, fold back down. Good. Inhale, this time we'll just sweep our arms all the way out and up. As we come to stand, navel draws in as you lean back, big lift of your heart. Exhale, hands together. Slowly lower to your heart center. Good. Let's do that just one more time. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Nice and slow. Hands can come to a block if you need to. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, we'll rise and sweep our arms all the way out, up. Heart lifts. Exhale, hands together. Slowly lower to your heart center. Let's keep our hands at our heart. And just take a moment here to remember your intention. Let your exhales have to release any resistance, anything that feels stuck in our bodies today. Good. And then arms come along our sides. So let's go ahead and we're just going to step our left foot back today. So coming into a lunge, a high lunge, go ahead and just adjust your body as you need to. Your right knee sucks over your ankle, that left hip wraps forward, and then arms can reach to the sky. If you're taking care of any shoulder issues, then maybe you keep your hands at your heart today. All right, otherwise we'll hold here just for a couple of breaths. On your next inhale, straighten your legs, drop your hands to your heart for a moment, seal your back foot down. We're going to come into a warrior two. So the back foot is parallel with the back of your mat or toes slightly forward. And then go ahead and bend that right knee over your ankle again. Arms begin to lengthen out from your heart. Good. So your ribs are just stacking right over your hips. And then we'll turn our gaze to our right hand, maybe the right middle finger. And then if you want to just quickly look down, maybe you can see your big toe. That's a nice little gauge that we're in our pose. And then we'll do a little flow here. So on your inhale, we're going to straighten our legs and arms reach up above over our heads. Exhale, lower back down to that warrior two. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, lower. We're just going to flow through this. Maybe you follow your right hand with your gaze. Just nice and slow, and just see how it feels to move your body today. Let's take one more. Okay. On your next inhale, turn your right palm up, reach it forward, bring it up over your ear for reverse warrior. So you should feel this nice lengthening in the right side. Hold here for just another breath or two. That right knee stays bent. Good. On your next exhale, bring our hands back to that warrior two. Straighten your front leg, bring your hands to your hips, and we're just going to pivot to face the front of your mat and then step your left foot to meet your right. Coming into your mountain pose, and just shake it out a little bit. So you can wobble your knees a little. Maybe walk it out. And then whenever you're ready, come back into your mountain pose and just feel your feet ground into the earth beneath you. All right, and we'll step right leg back for our lunge. So hands can come to your hips if you like. The right hip wraps forward, left knee over ankle. All right, so option for hands at heart or reach them to the sky. Find your high lunge and just take a couple of breaths here. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to lower our hands to our heart. Seal your back foot down, so your right foot this time, and come into your warrior two. So left knee stays bent. Left knee right over your left ankle. Ribs over your hips. Gaze out through your left fingertips this time. Pausing here. And whenever you're ready, we're going to do that same flow. So inhale, legs straightened, arms reach up over your head. Exhale, warrior two. Continuing on your own, just nice and slow. And follow your left hand with your gaze. Notice how it feels. Just move your body. Always that option to modify. So if this feels like too much for your arms or your shoulders, you can always opt out of the arms. Just move the legs. Last one. Find that warrior two. Just shoulder blades relax down your spine. And on your next inhale, turn your left palm up and then reach forward, bring it up over your ear for reverse warrior. That right hand can just rest in the back of your leg. Breathe into the left side. Good. On your next exhale, find your warrior two. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. Hands come to your hips. Pivot to face the front of your mat and step your right foot to meet your left, and then just shake it out a little. Good. So from here, we're just going to come all the way down onto our mats. I'd like us to just have one more option here first. So this may not be available to all bodies, but feet can come a little wider than hip distance apart, so maybe the width of your mat for those of you who are using a mat. And then we're just coming into what's called a prayer squat. So hands come up to your heart center, and you can stay up tall or you can come all the way down as long as that feels safe to do so. And if you are coming all the way down, I like to bring a blanket folded underneath my heels, and that just gives me enough of a height so that my spine can stay nice and tall. You could also throw a bolster or a couple blocks or whatever you have underneath your sits bones just for a little extra elevation. So we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Hands come to your heart center, wherever you are, neck nice and long. And if this feels like, again, too much for anyone, then maybe you just come and sit on your mat and we'll be done shortly. Maybe your eyes close. Maybe they just soften and you can fix your gaze on the floor out in front of you. A moment to remember your intention, and we just invite that in this moment. We don't have to worry about tomorrow, yesterday. We just worry about this moment right here, right now. What do we want to cultivate in this moment? Letting your exhales just let go of anything else that isn't in line with how we want to feel right now. Okay. And if you do have a prop underneath you, you can go ahead and move it. We'll come down to our bums, our sit bones, coming into just whatever pose is comfortable for you. So maybe that's cross-legged, maybe it's not. I like to bring a blanket underneath just for a little extra elevation for my spine to be tall. And then let our eyes just close just for a moment, continuing to go within. Maybe your legs are even straight today. I know my husband has a hard time sometimes with his knees bent. So just honoring your body. And we'll do just a little movement for our necks today. We carry so much tension right in our neck and our shoulders sometimes, like the weight of the world is on top of our shoulders. So see if we can do a little release. So on your next exhale, let your right ear drop to your right shoulder and slowly lower your chin to your chest. On your inhale, that left ear begins to come up to your left shoulder. And exhale back down. Just nice and slow. We'll just take some half circles to start. Moving with your breath. So the breath is really one of the most important parts of yoga. Without breath, we have nothing. So we invite our conscious breathing, conscious breath, breathing in that life force into our bodies. Good, and slowly come all the way back up to center. We'll let our right ears this time drop to our right shoulder. Let your left hand come behind you on your mat, just down to the side. If you want a little extra support, you can bring your right hand to the top of your head, and we're just going to gently lengthen the left side of our neck. I'm just going to stay close if that feels right for you, and just take a couple of slow, deep breaths. I feel that being conscious of our breath is like an honoring of the present moment. Remembering like, oh yeah, we're here right now. And go ahead and release on your next exhale. When you're ready, left ear drops to your left shoulder, right hand drops down to your side, slightly behind you. And then you can use that left hand only if it feels right for you. And we're not forcing, we're just applying gentle lengthening, breathing, sending your breath into the right side of your neck. And go ahead and gently release. Take just a few moments for a little free movement for your neck. So maybe you turn from side to side. Maybe you take full circles. Maybe bring your hands up and just give a little massage, just whatever your neck needs. Okay. And whenever you're ready, we'll gently make our way to our back so you can move your props if you had them. And we'll lie flat with knees bent. Unless this doesn't work for you, then of course choose something else. And we're just going to move into a gentle twist before we move into Shavasana. So we'll have a couple of options. So starting with arms just along your sides, maybe palms down just to kind of ground and support. Knees bent, feet about hip distance apart or slightly wider. And we'll move with our breath. On your exhale, let your knees float to the right. Inhale, let them draw back up to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back up. So this is just your option one, nice and slow, nice and gentle. If anyone wants just a little more of a challenge and you feel like your abdominal muscles can help support you, then you can lift your knees, or lift your feet, I'm sorry. Legs in about a 90-degree angle with your knees bent. And maybe this time your arms come out to a T, palms down. And then you exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Good. Floating from side to side, shoulder blades on both, stay grounded on your mat. And we'll take just one more to each side. And lower your feet down when you're ready. Let's actually take just one more pose. Soles of your feet come together as your knees open wide, arms along your sides to start. And we're just going to hold here for maybe 30 seconds and then we'll lower all the way down into Shavasana. So if for some reason this feels like too much for you, you can throw props underneath your knees, maybe blocks or wedge some blankets. Maybe your hands are down along your sides, or maybe you bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly again. Just as a remembrance to connect to something deeper within. Taking just a couple more breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and find our final resting pose. So maybe you lengthen your legs down, maybe you bring a blanket over your body, or a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees. So just setting yourself up in a way that you can be most comfortable for the last few minutes of your class. Letting your eyes soften or close. And your whole body relax. So as you lay on your back, just allow your awareness to come back to this moment, to your body, to your intention, what it is that you want more of for yourself today. Taking a moment to just honor your practice for being here. And then whenever you're ready, you can start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. And then you can gently roll onto one side. Maybe rest there for a full breath. And then you can gently press yourself up to a seated where we'll meet to close our practice. As you do come into your seat, we'll bring our hands to our heart center in Anjali Mudra, keeping our eyes closed, spine tall, staying just very present in this moment. And no matter where we are on our journey, may we all have just a little more ease, strength, and may we all find joy in the little things in life. Remembering that our breath is the most important thing, and that if we can bring our awareness to our breath as often as we can remember to, it's there to assist us in this process of life. I'm honored to be here with all of you today, and thank you so much for joining me. In yoga, we say namaste, which is the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow, I think at 11:45 for pranayama meditation if anyone wants to join me again. Otherwise, have a beautiful day.